Irresponsible Captain Tylor review ordered by user Yevgas, whose name more and more reminds me of a Soviet car. If the client wishes to tell me the meaning of his name, do tell! I'll say it in the next video, because if my memory serves me right, there's 2 more orders from you and I have a creeping suspicion that I'll run out of jokes in the last one and start insulting your mum. Irresponsible Captain Tylor happens God knows where in the year 6999, where United Humanity 100% conquered by Japan, mind you, is in war with a space Muslim empire, because 6999 or 1993, it doesn't matter much. There are only 2 constant problems in the first world: Muslims and communists, especially if they're Russians. Our main hero, Justy Tylor, is a bastard son of SpongeBob and Captain Picard. So in search of an easy life, he enlists in a space fleet that with each episode will more and more remind you of the Japanese Navy during World War II, because it's about as effective for the same reasons. But since this is son of SpongeBob and Picard we're talking about, instead of, I don't know, go to an academy or work as a janitor on some ship, he's immediately given the most broken and derelict ship in the entire fleet, with the crew just as bad, and is told to kill enemies for motherland. Besides our main hero, there is not a lot of characters to work with, but they're generally quite memorable, both in their looks and their behavior. But since telling you about them would spoil all the fun, I'll tell you only about the second closest after the captain: Squidward and Princess Leia. To be honest with you, I was pleasantly surprised with this anime. At first I thought that this is yet another stupid comedy. The only difference is that the humor here looks like one from an American stand-up comedian. But from the 3rd episode I realized that first, this is a classical savant satire, and second, you won't believe when I say it, a pure-blood science fiction. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that myself. There's nothing here that usually annoys people in anime. No fillers, no fucking mountains, not even a hot springs episode that these yellow slanty-eyed bastards show wherever they can! If I had to compare, I would say that this anime reminds me of Star Trek the most, but comedy, which some people might like, some people not so much. The anime, of course, isn't perfect. The graphics are very cheap, a lot of scenes, especially the battle ones, are shamelessly copied from one episode to another, and the long pauses that I rambled about in Outlaw Star are here as well, although compared to the rest of the show you'll probably won't even notice them. The music here, while serves its purpose, is so typical 90s sci-fi music that music from Soviet science fiction will sound like Beethoven's symphonies, that's 1. And 2, it made me reminiscent of Monty Python and Sesame Street with all its ups and downs, along with Star Trek Deep Space Nine opening. Disgusting. The critique about realism also stands, but unlike Gene, this show doesn't hide the fact that its space setting has less influence on the plot and more influence on authors' chances of not getting arrested for state treason. Irresponsible Captain Tylor is a good anime. Shows like these fill my non-existent heart with, let's call it hope for a better future, and reminds me that for all the pink-haired, yelling schoolboy wimps from another world with magic powers on a robot with a female in his teeth, anime is still worth defending. Will I recommend this to a younger audience? If you like shows like Star Trek, Firefly, or Doctor Who, then I'll say yes. You won't find anything new, but you'll certainly have fun watching it. The rest, though, watch it at your own risk. You see, client, old anime is like wine. It might get better with years, but if you overdo, it'll turn into vinegar, and that shit is bad for your stomach, but it's a good ingredient for explosives.